Hey guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. My nickname is iFacepalm, and in this episode we're going to take a closer look at the Tier 5 French M10 RBFM. During this tank review we will be looking into whether if it's worth buying, how its tank statistics look against its closest turreted tank destroyer brothers, the non-premium variants, and in addition we will perform a quick armor profile rundown with focus on its weak spots and strengths. Afterwards I'll take you guys alongside a recent battle which I have selected for you guys today, which will hopefully give you a good idea of this tank in action. And finally, I'll finish up with a quick sum up and my rate. So, the M10 RBFM, what is this thing? And is it any good? Especially if we compare it against the other Tier 5 turreted tank destroyers. Actually, this tank was given for free during a wargaming event, and at that time when the event was happening, I had a short break from World of Tanks. So, when I returned and noticed it was for sale for 1500 bonds in the shop, I started to study the statistics of it, and it actually seemed too good to be true, at least for my playstyle. So I ended picking it up. So did I regret it? Let's take a look. So in general guys, the gun seems quite good, and it's a tank destroyer, yes, but it's actually a turret you can turn 360 degrees. So yes, it's a tier 5, you cannot expect the best precision, but what can I do to improve the precision? As this is a premium tank, you can use any of your French tank destroyer crew in it. I focus primarily on the camouflage and the brothers in arms. Now I train towards improving the view range. For the equipment, so what I have done, I have chosen improved aiming. Keep in mind this is a tier 5 vehicle, so you do not get that additional bonus from your equipment in this tier, therefore only 5%. Second equipment, turbocharger, that is to improve that mobility. Yes, it has a fantastic top speed, but the horsepower per ton makes this tank feel sluggish. For the third equipment, I have added binoculars. For the ammunition, 35 AP shells, 30 APCR shells, and 0 high explosives. The armor piercing shells offers you an average penetration of 130, shell velocity of 792, and the APCR shells offers you an additional 40 penetration more, and in addition a nice shell velocity increase of more than 200. The high explosive I have not added due to the 170 penetration will be more than enough for anything that you will encounter in this tier. The shell cost price for a normal shell is only 96, that's extremely cheap guys, and for an APCR shell you have to pay up to 1800, so they're quite expensive, but you definitely will get your value for it. Let's quickly run down through its tank statistics with the current crew. 115 average damage, 130 penetration, rate of 5, 26.4, which means 2.91 between the shots. Yes, I have actually had a gun rammer here previously, but the thing is, because it's so fast firing, I see a bigger improvement in actually make this tank either more precise or either faster. The gun bloom after firing is quite high, so you're not really going to utilize 100% the extra speed of firing because your gun bloom is going to be that bigger. So for me, the primary focus will be it can reposition fast and that it can actually hit its targets, that you can aim very fast as your gun very rapidly fire. Gun depression is an impressive minus 10 degrees. I'm able to achieve a dispersion rate of 0.33 with the current crew. Average damage per minute is 2374. Yes, if you add a gun rammer, you will add another 10%, which will be quite impressive, but after playing this vehicle quite a lot, I must say I personally prefer this setup for my playstyle. 470 HP, hull armor 38, 19, 19, turret armor 57, 25, 25, horsepower per ton 1458. Yes, we get a small increase from the turbocharger, but in general this tank is quite sluggish. Even with a top speed of 52, it takes some time to achieve that, so the turbocharger is definitely needed. The reverse speed is not the greatest, only 14 degrees, and this is even with the turbocharger. That is a big downside for this tank, but keep in mind this is a tank destroyer and it has a full traverse turret, which is a gigantic advantage. Traverse speed of 33.4, and the camo values are quite okay for a tier 5 vehicle. The current setup we are able to achieve 3418, 889, stationary 2209 and 574 when moving. The view range at this current stage with the binoculars we achieve a 481 and a quite poor signal range of 448. So you might be thinking this doesn't look like something really special. Yes, it's a precise gun, but there's no armor. Yes, it has a good top speed, but that's not really reverse speed. Yes, you can achieve a quite good DPM, but is it really worth it? The thing is, there's several things that makes this tank quite good. Keep in mind the HP pool of the tier 5 tanks are very low. When you are able to deal an average damage of 115, if you look at our HP 470, that means if we encounter another M10 RBFM and we manage to fire 4 shells into him, that will result in a total of average 460 damage. So in nearly 50% of the times that will be enough to kill the enemy tank. So it means that in under 9 seconds from the very first shell, you can actually take out another M10 RBFM. That is quite extreme figure, and a precision of 0.33 for tier 5. It's a really nice precision, and with the top speed you're able to reposition. Yes, you will not be able to accelerate very fast towards it, you will not be able to instantly reach that speed, but you will still be able to reposition rather effectively. Okay, let's take a comparison look of the M10 RBFM against its other Tech 3 turreted tank destroyer brothers. So here we have the M10 RBFM compared against the T67 and the Wolverine. So right off the bat, it seems like we have a slightly better DPM, we have a slightly better penetration, we have a slightly better rate of fire, and of course reload time. The caliber is exactly the same. The shell velocity is exactly the same. Yes, the values looks very similar. The aim time 1.73, Wolverine is slightly better. The dispersion is better on the M10, even while moving, while tank traverse. The only downside is with the turret traverse, but it still lands in around the middle. Nice gun elevation and a gun depression that is 10 degrees across the board. When looking at the mobility, we have a forward speed that equals the Wolverine. One thing is for certain, the T67 is a way more mobile tank. The reverse speed is only 12, which is a very big downside, which usually makes it faster to escape by driving forward and turning rather than reversing. So yes, this tank has a small advantage in regarding of the firepower, but that comes at a cost for the power to weight ratio, which is only 13.67. And this is where both the T67 and the Wolverine are far superior. The armor and health is nothing special all across. The view range 370 together with the Wolverine. The T67 reaches a very appalling 340. The radio range, the Americans here has a gigantic advantage in regarding of communicating with your comrades. Keep in mind guys that the M10 is a premium tank, so you can train any of your French tank destroyer crew in it, where the T67 and the Wolverine is a Tech 3 tank. Wolverine shares a lot of similarities in regards of the mobility with the M10. The T67 sacrifices its view range to get an amazing engine boost, which results in 25.72 horsepower per ton. Okay, let's take a look at its armor profile. Okay, so here we have the M10 RBFM. So to get a proper indication if the armor is anything worth, let's switch directly to the APCR shells, which offers 170mm of penetration. We can see directly that the general armor profile here is nothing really worth. The size of it definitely stands out. Look at this beautiful angling here. So yes, if the enemy manages to hit one of these spots here, it is more than 70 degrees, which will result in a ricochet, and same on this side. If we look at the turret mantle, it offers 0 armor. Yes, the big irony is that your sides actually offer way better armor. An interesting part of the tank is the lower part here. We can see there's some kind of I don't even know the name of this. The extra equipment that is mounted here actually provides some armor, which actually makes it that if a shell goes in here, look at some of these values guys, 290. But of course, how many tanks are going to hit exactly this spot here guys, right here, and then through that armor in addition. It's purely about RNG. Wow, plenty of layers based armor here. So how about this side profile? Turret, look here. Look how this is insane, man. 370 in the rear here, and even here it's well angled. But for the majority part guys, this is no problem penning, and even here 20mm of armor, anything is going to go through. You have some armor in this angle here with some extra spaced armor. Just before the tracks there's an extra small armor layer right there, you can see here from the visual view. So if a shell flies through here, it will actually offer you a few layers of spaced armor. It is still far from enough to absorb or bounce any shells, but if we angle it, you will notice that suddenly the values can get quite extreme. More than 320mm of armor. And even under the plate you can see there's some impressive values. But keep in mind guys, this is at the lower part of the hull. The majority of the shells the enemy firing at you will usually be on the upper part of the tank. In general, this tank really has no armor. From the rear guys, 20mm armor, here's 25, and here again surprisingly still not enough to bounce a shell. In general, this tank really has no armor, but it has several RNG spots. Okay guys, let's take a look at a recent battle I of course just had. Okay guys, so here we are on Mannerheim line. We are bottom tier. we are facing 6 medium tanks and then 3 heavies, 3 artilleries and 3 tank destroyers. So directly I'm starting, of course, I want to take the hill spot here. Quite enjoy the spot. You might have seen it from my CS52 list review. It shows position same place. This spot can definitely be challenging if you have a non-turret tank destroyer, as there's plenty of games where you have to move around to make some snapshots, and when you don't have the turret, it is challenging, especially at the higher tiers. But for this tank destroyer that has the advantage of having that turret, this is quite a nice place. Thing is, there's not a single light tank, so it will take some time for anything to be spotted. Would have been nice with a light tank at around this D5 or 6 line, or maybe even at the F6. Yeah, one shot into him. See, the reverse speed is quite slow. Take some time. Thing is, our team have decided not to push towards the H8 and 9 line. This spot here, they have actually taken somewhat defensive role. More like a small lemming train over here. In general, if the team was just took the defensive spot around this area, this is actually quite powerful. But this setup here, no idea. Trying with a blind shot. Sometimes these random games are truly random. One of the bigger challenges about this exact spot is that it is easy to get very impatient and to take some chances that normally you should not take. But in general, I guess that's with most of the tanks. P43, let's see if we can get a shot in. I know I'll get spotted as soon as I fire. Get away, get away, get away. Did I get spotted? Actually, I didn't get spotted. Another shell in, track him. Another, come on. Yeah, wow, now I got spotted. So it was close, that shoulder, and straight along this. What is he doing? Let's see if we can get a shot in. Whoa, yeah, beautiful. Okay, 2 kills. And the artillery was close. Nearly all forgot about those 3 artilleries. Okay, there's 2 and 3. Can we get a shell in? Can we get a shell in? So you guys see, it takes some time for the blind shot. So you guys see, it takes some time for the gun after it fired to actually have perfect precision. This is why one of the reasons why I took away the gun rammer, because I want to have the gun to be 100% aimed before I fire. So that gun rammer will really only help me out if I was at very close range. I played this tank quite afar due to the low HP pool it has. Yep. So keep on slightly moving. Nice. Bounced. The guy's starting to dance around. Switching over to premium ammunition. Okay. Oh, there we go. Can we get a shell in? Yep. Beautiful. One more. Yep. And the last one. Yeah. Okay, even more. Bounce in the T150. I don't know what I was shooting at. Another one. I'll say it's impressive that the Russian tank is able to bounce so many of my shots with its side. Hit the K1. The T150 maybe looks a bit afraid now to push forward again. Come on. last one. Okay. So guys, we have already 2,126 damage and 833 spotting. That was just crazy. Okay, can we get a shot into the Valiant? Come on. One shell in. One more. Yeah. Okay, 11-4. This game definitely looks like a win. Let's see, can we get a shot? And come on, turret. Hello, turret. Okay, the turret. It is nice that it has a turret, but it's really slow still. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so we just secured our kill number 4. Like going down. No, but the 82. What is the 82 doing there? Okay, back up again. I was thinking about hurrying down here and then support at the H8 flank towards the KV1, but then as soon as I notice this 82 in the middle though, I'm like, okay, I can put in some shells towards him. Yeah, tracked. Beautiful. Not bad at all. Okay, 14-6. The question is, can I even can I reach the KV1 before our team slaughters? Most likely not. Whoa. So yeah, the tank is not the fastest to accelerate, but when it reaches its top speed, it is moving quite effectively. So the KV1 is attacked by the Skoda, and our S35, which is played by Blake, is moving closer to the KV1. There we go, guys. 15-7. 2,663 damage and 1,074 spotting. Okay guys, so there we had it. 5 kills in the M10 RBFM French Tier 5 Premium Tank Destroyer. So what do I think of this vehicle? I actually quite enjoy it. I think the gun is quite amazing, to be honest, for Tier 5. You can destroy a similar tank in just seconds, and always switch to APCR shells, which will offer you average penetration of 170 and a nice shell velocity of 1037 on a Tier 5 vehicle. Yes, it's not the fastest to accelerate, but it has the top speed that is enough for it to reposition within a reasonable amount of time, especially when you have mounted the turbocharger. Yes, the reverse speed can be frustrating, but the strength of this tank's gun is quite good. Yes, we saw in the battle how slow the turret is actually traversing, but keep in mind that this is a tank destroyer that actually has a turret. This is a gigantic advantage in my opinion. In regards of how much to enjoy this tank in comparison to other Tier 5, then this is definitely among my top 3 most enjoyable tanks for the Tier 5s. So how many face bombs would I give the M10 RBFM Tank Destroyer? I'm going to give it 4 face bombs. Yes, this tank in general would deserve 3, but because this is a premium tank and you can earn that extra, and you can train your extra crew, and you can destroy a tank in such a short amount of time and reposition and have quite good camo values, and in addition have a good precision when fitted improved aiming, then this tank is surprisingly good. So would I recommend buying the M10 RBFM, the French Premium Tank Destroyer, for 1,500 bonds? Personally, I think this is a fantastic deal. Only 1,500, you get one of the best, one of the strongest Tier 5 vehicles. It's amazing. If we compare against the German Panzer IV Hydrostat, which is really a bad tank. The only unique thing about this one is the name. It costed twice as much, the 3,000. Feel free to compare the statistics of the Panzer IV Hydrostat versus the M10 RBFM, and you will be shocked how good the M10 RBFM is in comparison. These two tanks cannot be compared, to be honest. So yeah, for me it's a definite top 3, and also why it deserves 4 face bombs. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. This was my tank review number 11. I hope you enjoyed it and let me know what you think of the French M10 RBFM. And of course, if you like to see more crazy content from my side, feel free to leave a like or even subscribe. It's a big thumbs up for me and I appreciate it a lot. Cheers guys, take care and see you next time.